Hi, Patrick here. Have Cheetah Will View. Welcome to Dollar Tree Theater. The movie that we'll be talking about today is none other that you guys voted for. Is none other than 2019's Fighting with My Family, which is the story of Paige and how she became the youngest women's champion of WWE and how she got there. Um, so I'm a wrestling fan, and I remember seeing Paige. I also know too that she had a very short career in the square circle with the WWE. A lot of controversy um, and whatnot, but her story there is pretty good. Um, so her real name is actually Soraya, and like I said, her and her whole family are all wrestlers. And they get a try. They get her and her brother get a call out to to try out at the WWE, and by a road agent, Hutch Morgan, played by Vince Vaughn, and he puts them through the ropes, not literally but figuratively. And at the end of the tryouts, he says that when I read your name, you'll be coming with me down to Florida to go to the next level, to be assessed, do an assessment. He then proceeds to read off one name, which is Paige. And her brother is devastated, of course, because that's what he wanted. He wanted to be a WWE star, and he just didn't. He didn't make it. So, well, she flies off to Florida to go on to the next step, and she struggles mightily while she's in Florida. She's a real wrestler, and she knows the moves, but she's the only female wrestler there is. The rest of the girls they're there, but they're beautiful. They're glamorous, but they're also models, cheerleaders, dancers. They're not wrestlers, and this is shown in the ring when Paige is working with them, and she gets hit. She gets hit. She gets hit. Botched hit. And so she gives the one girl what she calls a receipt. A receipt is something you give a wrestler when they botch a move, and they do it more than once. Then you pay them back. A lot of times, if they're not careful, if they're too stiff, or if they're not really comfortable with the moves, or they're slow. There's a lot of ways to botch a move, and if you're not really paying attention, you could hurt the person you're wrestling against. So she repays this rookie with a receipt, and Hutch sees it, and he's not too happy about it, and he makes Paige apologize, forcefully apologize. Um, and we all, Paige discovers also too that while she's technically proficient in the ring, she has no mic skills, very poor mic skills, and she's under strength. The other girls are in much better shape, and she finds herself, teetering on the edge of not, of being cut, and she alienates herself from the other girls, from the other wrestlers. She stays by herself. She's not really a socializer, so there's a lot of things going against her. And right before they take their week break, Hutch is real honest with her and tells her that you really shouldn't come back. There's no reason for you to come back. And she insists that her brother should have gotten a chance too. And Hutch tells her that, listen, your brother is good, but he would have never made it. He just wasn't going to be good enough for it. And did you really want that for your brother? Because basically what he would have been was just a jobber. Her brother was like a $1.90. And anybody who watches WWE knows that cruiserweights are not necessarily, they're fun to watch, but they don't really get the big shots. And it's a very small group. And he's so small anyway. He's always even a cruiserweight. He's weighed 190. His build weight. That's just jobber material. And he tells her that. He's real honest with her. He says, your brother had no chance here. and says, would you want that for him? And he lays out, what could have been. 200 nights on the road, being beaten up, trying to become known, trying to become well known, doing whatever it takes, including doing stupid shit like being tossed off of hell in a cell cage just to try to get some attention, and probably not getting it. If he had any sort of relationship, kids, he wouldn't be seeing his kids. His wife probably would have left him, and and Paige tells him that you don't know that that's impossible for that to happen. And Hutch says, well, that's what I thought too. And he'd been talking about himself to her, saying, I've lived what your brother would have went through, and you don't want that. So Paige goes home, and and her brother's been, he's, and she goes home and sees her brother and says, I tried calling you several times, but he just never really contacted her back because he didn't really, he was jealous, quite honestly. And then when she comes back, she tells him that she's not gonna go back. She can't hack it. She's not gonna go back. And will she help her? Will he help her tell her mom and dad? Now, what makes it even worse than him being jealous is him finding out that she's just gonna give up on what on the dream. I mean, she got a golden opportunity that he didn't get, and now he sees her gonna throw it away, and that really angers him even more. So it causes a brief estrangement between the two, and it looks like Zach is gonna go off on the deep end, but at the end, he talks to her and he basically says, "Hey, you get back out there and you do it. You got an opportunity. Why are you throwing it away? It's just terrible. I would give anything to have your shot, and then you're just gonna toss it away without working hard." So Paige goes ahead and she heads back, and she comes back with a new attitude. She walks back in. She tried to change her personality to fit in with the group, but she decided that she's just going to be herself. So she comes back. She dedicates herself to her training. She really does try hard, and you see that not only is she getting stronger, she's beating some of the same girls that were beating her regularly, and not only that, but she's also coming back, learning to become a teammate, and she helps a lot of the other girls too. These are the same girls that were beating her before she went home. Now she's come back with attitude adjustment, and she's willing to do what it takes to become a good wrestler. That includes her skills on the mic, and so she then gets a chance. She goes to Hutch mentions to the surviving wrestlers that they're all going to be the guests of the WWE at WrestleMania 30. So they all go to the arena, and she has some interactions with the Big Show and Sheamus, which is really cute. And then Hutch mentions to her to come over, and he wants her to wait in his room. And as she's waiting in this VIP suite, none other than the Dwayne Johnson comes in, and he gets her parents on the phone, and first he's like, "Hey, just letting you know that Paige is she's gonna be wrestling on the main roster. She's gonna get wrestling for the Divas Championship tomorrow night against AJ Lee," and he tells her and her parents right there that she better perform well, because this is a once in a lifetime opportunity here. You got to go in there and be a fire. Otherwise, if you don't, you're coming up for the NXT to get a shot at the main roster. And if you don't perform well, you won't get called up, and pretty much your career will die in the NXT, or if even last that long down there. So the next day, she gets her first crack at the main roster. She gets a crack at the main roster, and she gets to wrestle AJ Lee for the championship. And she wrestles her, and at first she gets her ass whipped. She's just getting, she's getting rocked, all over the place, and then she comes back and she pins AJ Lee for the title. And of course, everybody's really happy for her and whatnot. And it should have been a happy ending, but in real life, Paige had a lot of problems. She hurt her neck twice, which led her to her early retirement. She got in a relationship with the wrestler known as Alberto Del Rio, and had nothing. There's a lot of domestic incidents between the two. A lot of problems between those two. That didn't help. And then she hooked up with another wrestler named Xavier Woods, and they were still, I'm not sure they probably filmed themselves, but they had a sex tape, and that got leaked. Now, when I say leaked, was that leaked by them per se? Probably not. Probably by somebody else. And that didn't help. So her two neck injuries did effectively end her career. She's still living in LA. She's still doing things, I don't know exactly what she's doing. Is she still involved with wrestling or not? It didn't really necessarily say what she was doing, but her career did not last very long. And that's a shame. That's a shame. Now, what did I think about this movie? I thought this movie was really good, for the most part. I thought Florence Pugh played Paige, and she's cute. She's definitely cute. But I thought the actor who stole this movie was the brother of Jack Lowden, who played Lowden, who played her brother Zach. I thought he stole this movie. I thought his character was, I thought he was earnest and very driven, and he was exactly how I would be too. If that had happened for me. It's hard to be happy for somebody who's living the dream that you wanted, and then get frustrated when you see him toss it away. I thought his character, Zach rang totally true. The supporting cast was also very strong, and that included Nick Frost from Shaun of the Dead. Nick Frost played his character's name is Rowdy Knight. So Rowdy Ricky Knight, and then Lena Headey from the Game of Thrones played the mother, Julia, who named her daughter Soraya after her wrestling character. The whole family is really, really quite charming. Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, he came in there, and they had a really interesting scene. I really liked this scene quite a bit, where Zach and Paige meet him right before the tryout, and they tell him that they want to be the next him. And Dwayne slides right into the character of The Rock, and he lays a verbal beatdown on them. It's smooth and it's effortless. There's just no script there. Here's what's going to happen, and then you just do whatever you're going to do. It's smooth. It's just like no hesitation. And he basically did it. He did cut a promo on them because he wanted them to be, don't be the next me, be the first you. And I thought that was really cool. And the character of Hutch Morgan, he's a composite of several wrestlers. Supposed to be a composite, but at the end they let you know when The Rock calls him a nickname. When he says the nickname, and anybody who knows wrestling, when they hear it, they'll know exactly who Hutch Morgan was supposed to be. And that was a very good moment too. Very touching, actually. Once he said that, it was like it was a tribute, and I really liked that. And yeah, it's class. I thought this movie was fine. Like I said, I would recommend it. I think it was well made. It runs for an hour and 45 minutes. It gets the story across very well. All the characters are extremely likable. It's an easy movie to watch. Even the people that are supposed to be her competitors, the girls she's working out against, they're they're just nice people. There's there's no bad, but there's no heavy in this movie. Um, and there's just it's just a family that's they love wrestling. They're like almost like the UK's version of the Von Erichs, maybe with less talent, but still, what I'm saying. That's what they do. They bleed and they bleed wrestling. Uh, so there's some special features on here as well. You can get this. You can get this at any secondary market. Uh, Walmart, Amazon, eBay, probably Target, Best Buy if they're still selling movies off their website. A lot of ways to get this movie. Special features included a commentary, director's commentary, with director Stephen Merchant. So, highly recommend getting this. Especially if you're a wrestling fan, you'll really like it. If you're into family, you'll really like this as well. There's nothing objectionable about it. The language is very, for what it could have been. This movie is rated PG-13, but I think it's mostly for the wrestling angles. Language is it's all right. Nothing objectionable. All right, that's all I got. I would like to thank you for watching. If you want to do Dollar Tree Theater, feel free to do so. If you want to follow what I do on for Dollar Tree Theater, hit that sub button, hit the notification bell, and then drop a comment down below. All right, this is a long review. I should probably cut it off. I think I will. Be nice to each other, and I'll be coming back on August 26th, and looking forward to seeing some of you guys when I do. Talk to you soon. Peace.